Hello, dear students. This is Dr. Fadi Hannawi, Lecturer of Internal Medicine and Hematology, Faculty of Medicine, Ain Shams University. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to examine the hands. And in this section, I'm going to show you how to examine the hands for 5 items. But first, as usual, you have to greet the patient, introduce yourself, and explain to the patient the examination you're going to perform. صباح الخير.
صباح النور.
ازيك؟
تمام الحمد لله.
أنا اسمي دكتور فادي.
هلا.
اسمك إيه؟
سيد محمد.
أهلا يا سيد. تسمح لي أفحص إيديك؟
تمام مفيش مشكلة.
طيب شكرا. طيب أنا هفحص إيدك، تمام، وهقول لك كل خطوة إذا كان في حاجة هنعملها زيادة. So first, in order to examine the hands, we have to look for 5 items. First item is the general appearance of the hand. If there is any deformity, if there is any normal pigmentation, if there is any scarring, anything like this abnormal, you have to comment on it. So first, by inspection, so I will perform everything on one hand, and don't forget at the end to repeat the same steps on the other hand, because we have to examine always both sides. Okay. So second item after the appearance is the nails. Don't forget to examine the nails, because you might find clubbing, you might find cyanoses, you might find splinter hemorrhages, you might find nail pitting, such as in psoriasis, and you might find also nail spooning, which is called koilonychia, which is found commonly in iron deficiency anemia. So after the nails, you gotta examine the hand for temperature. So we've got 3 T's: temperature, texture, and turgor, and tremors. Temperature, you have to feel the hand with the back of your hand like this. And also you have to compare both sides if there is any difference in temperature between both sides, right and left. And for skin turgor, you have to examine the skin mobility and turgor at the same time, which assesses the hydration status of the patient, and also some collagen diseases might lead to increased or decreased mobility of the skin. So just by pinching the skin like this and letting it go, you will observe the time it takes to go back to its position. This is for the turgor and mobility. So how about the tremors? The tremors, we've got 2 major types of tremors we have to examine for: the fine tremors and the flapping tremors. So in order to examine for the fine tremors, or to detect fine tremors, you have to put a piece of paper like this on the patient's hands while they're stretched like this, and observe for any fine movements or exaggerated movements of the paper. So there's no fine tremors. So how about flapping tremors? In order to test for flapping tremors, you have to ask the patient to stretch his arms. افرد ايديك زي كده قدام. ايوه كويس. And you can trigger the flapping tremors by slight movement like this, by pressing the hands backwards like this, and observe for any flapping tremors. No flapping tremors. Okay. Shukran. So finally, we have to test for 2 vascular phenomena. First is the capillary refilling, and second is the radial pulse that we all know. So capillary refilling is an indicator of the peripheral arterial supply, and it is tested by holding the hand of the patient like this and selecting any finger, and you start to press like this on the nail bed itself until the underlying tissues start to whiten for a few seconds, and then you release your finger, and observing the time till the color returns back to normal. This is about 3 to 4 seconds normally. If it takes longer than that, this means delayed capillary refilling, and it indicates usually a problem in the distal circulation or arterial circulation. Shukran. Finally, the radial pulse. So the radial pulse, you first have to feel it in one hand, and then you have to compare the volume in both hands. So you can feel the radial pulse by gripping the radius, the distal end of the radius like this, and putting your fingers, pressing slightly till you feel the maximum impulse of the radial pulse like this. And here we have to comment on the rate, rhythm, quality of volume on both sides, and also the condition of the arterial wall, or any abnormality or special character in the radial pulse. Thank you. شكرا. So, my dear students, this is the end of our video. I hope it was helpful to you, and I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you.